Ladies and gentlemen, bout number 3 on the card. Fighting out of the red corner, Tanawat Ketsiri.
Making his way to centre ring for this light heavyweight clash in the red corner, Tanawat Ketsiri. The 14 wins, the 10 losses, 14 wins, 11 have come by KO, and he's only 20 years of age. The second of the Narawos Bourmas fighters here tonight at the Melbourne Pavillion.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, Waleed Haddara.
I'm sorry I hated that first. My grandma didn't even believe in me. I kept going though. All I can say is I told him.
And now making his way to centre ring with a perfect record of 9 wins and no losses, Waleed Haddara, 37 years of age, at a Stay Fit boxing gym, a Victorian silver cruiserweight champion, the man from Altona North, with huge crowd support here at the Melbourne Pavilion, looking to make a statement against his Thai opponents.
Ladies and gentlemen, your following bout is bout number 3 of the evening. Tonight's fights are brought to you by Big Time Boxing. 6 by 3-minute rounds in the light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, trained by Tanawat out of Tanawat Boxing and Muay Thai, with an official weight of 80.40 kilograms. Wearing blue trunks with white and black. A record of 24 fights, 14 wins, 11 coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Bangkok in Thailand, Tanawat Ketsiri. And across the ring is this man's opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, trained by Dave Hegarty, out of the Stay Fit boxing gym, with an official weight of 85.50 kilograms, wearing black trunks. This man is undefeated, 9 fights, 9 wins, 6 coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Altona, he is the current Victorian Cruiserweight Champion. He is Waleed Haddara. When the action begins in centre ring, your man in charge, Tony Moretta.
So we are just about set here for the third bout at light heavyweight. This will be over 6 rounds between Waleed Haddara and his opponent here from Thailand in Tanawat Ketsiri. The heavy favourite is Waleed Haddara, and he's looking to blast his opponent from Thailand out of the ring, but maybe there's some different plans for Ketsiri.
Round 1.
Well, Haddara only all black, the Mike Tyson styled all black, and I love watching Waleed Haddara. They're always explosive, and geez, so much power as well. Have a look how he rolls in forward and just explodes in the first round on Ketsiri, Scotty.
He loves to get off to a quick start, Wally, and a number of his fights, he's been able to get them out within 3 rounds. There is a bit of a question mark on his fitness, let's say that. He probably doesn't go as well in the 6th round as he does in the first, so it makes sense for him to use that power. He's built for power.
Quick fight's a good fight for Waleed Haddara as he goes down and up, level changing. Taps the body and then looking for the rolling hooks or the overhand. In turn, you've got Ketsiri, the Thai in blue shorts with the red gloves. He's looking to be a bit of a cagey customer already in the first round. Not intimidated at all, is he?
No, and he's moving his hands, just not trying to give Wally something to look at. Wally's just not sure when to jump in, just in case he runs into something.
Yeah, doesn't want to make a mistake. Changing stance, went southpaw there momentarily, did Ketsiri.
The last time we saw Waleed Haddara was in action in December at the Melbourne Pavilion, where he blasted out his Thai opponent, Tanawat, and that was a first-round stoppage. Can he continue the trend here tonight at the Melbourne Pavilion? Big-time boxing, live combat sports in conjunction with Paris Productions.
Haddara with Hegarty in his corner, Khalid Baker, and of course Fadi Haddara as well. Absolute legend of the day, Fadi Haddara, in the kick fighting, kickboxing, and was one of the favourite sons of Melbourne fight scene in the years gone by, so it's good to see Fadi ringside as well.
Waleed Haddara was also a very good amateur fighter as well. He had the 30 wins, 3 losses, 2 amateur titles, including a Victorian title and Australian title. So he's been around the block, but looking to continue that trend of wins here tonight at Melbourne. Most of his fights have been in Melbourne. One of his fights was in Bendigo, but he's always fighting in the state of Victoria. There's Haddara coming forward. He only knows one way. He's like a raging bull in front of his opponent.
Yeah, faked with the double jab. The goal there was to land the right, but the Thai just slipped back onto the ropes, and he's not looking to engage either Ketsiri. Potentially a counter fighter, Scotty, I feel.
I think Wally's finding it frustrating too, isn't he? Because he'd like to have his opponent come forward and be in the zone for him to strike, and he's not. And it's making him think.
Yeah, he likes to be in the pocket and mixing up the big shots, Haddara. But the Ketsiri having none of it here tonight at the Melbourne Pavilion. Absolutely packed house once again for big-time boxing, and Brian Armatruda has done it again, as always. The big Mick ringside as well.
Packed to the rafters. The best atmosphere in Melbourne here, and the best venue in Australia, the Melbourne Pavilion. Not long remaining in this first round. Ketsiri, the baby-faced assassin at 20 years of age, not throwing too much artillery, and for me that was one-way traffic in favour of Haddara.
It was almost a nil-all draw, I thought. Hardly anyone landed anything effective, but if you've got to give it to someone, you'd give it to Wally, I think. Unless you want to think Tony Moretta, the referee, won it, but I think Wally did enough to get that round.
Wally just been frustrated, I feel, by the movement of Ketsiri. Not the traditional opponent for him. Been very evasive. I look forward to seeing what comes in the second round.
Yeah, the volume very low from Ketsiri in the red corner, and his corner will have a word to him at the end of this first round, heading into round number 2. But for me, Waleed Haddara just needs to keep throwing the punches. He's landing a couple of those shots. And how do you see this second round playing out, Scott Brower?
I think they got into Wally a bit in the corner there and told him he's got to increase his work rate and land punches. But it's also a good opportunity for Wally. Wally does learn a lot through his fight, so this is another good opportunity for him to learn and develop and become an even better fighter.
Oh, double jab right hand. Haddara is getting that jab working overtime when he goes forward. It's textbook stuff. Relying on the jab, or sitting behind the jab to make distance, and then trying to land that right hand. That's going to be the order of the day. But have a look at the guard of Ketsiri in the stance. Geez, it's unorthodox.
He's keeping his hands low towards the belt line. There's openings there for Waleed Haddara, especially that left hook. And we know Waleed Haddara's got a good quality left hook. He does possess power, Waleed Haddara, but he does his fundamentals very nicely in all of his 9 contests.
Unfortunately for Ketsiri, he does a lot of movement but doesn't throw many punches, so it's very hard to win a fight if you're not throwing punches.
Yeah, the volume very low for the Thai, needs to lift it, but all the punches are coming from Waleed Haddara, just waiting for his opponent here in the second round, but it won't be long before he gets into a flurry, Waleed Haddara. There's a little bit of a flurry there, not too much landing, and the referee separates both fighters in this second round.
Well, he's going forward and crowding himself a little. I feel if he throws and then just sits back, he'll give himself a bit more room to unload, because they're clashing when they get in the inside. So
he's out of range here where he is now, and he can't throw them. And then when he does throw them, he gets too close, and he gets in his arm's own way. He needs to be half a step further out when he's throwing it.
He's doing all the right things to get in, and then I just need to sort of bounce back again, like there. Just sit back, and then Ketsiri will come onto the punch as well.
Yep, spot on.
So his counter fighting of sorts He's waiting. Wally goes forward. Then he'll either tie him up or try and chase him when he breaks off. So he's open for a counter shot as well, Ketsiri. Easy for us to say, harder to do in centre ring, obviously.
Little bit of switch hitting there from Waleed Haddara, changing the angles, keeping the Thai fighter guessing in Ketsiri. Then he goes for the right hand and the left hand. Beautiful shots there from Waleed Haddara, but he's been sort of trained under Dave Hegarty for the last couple of fights, and especially in his last fight, he looked quite good in December against Tanawat, a fellow Thai.
We're showing constant improvement, Haddara, and that's what you want to see. And particularly as a trainer, Dave Hegarty will be really pleased that he is seeing that progress. And he's not rushing tonight like he has in the past. He's taking his time, and as much as the tie is frustrating for him, he's taking his time, trying to pick his shots.
I think this will be a good sort of showing for him. I think if he gets the rounds in, because he hasn't got so many rounds in throughout his career. He's had a lot of first and second round stoppages. If he can get maybe 3-4 rounds in, it's only going to benefit him as he rises up sort of the level of competition in the light heavyweight division.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at Ketsiri. He's not even opening his mouth. So he's obviously got some good conditioning. He's not breathing hard. He's got his mouth closed. He's fairly composed. Just happy to sort of dance around. He's not doing a lot of work though.
He's not scoring. He might be waiting on the proviso that he thinks Wally's going to tire out. He might come home really strong in rounds 4, 5, and 6 and try and pinch the fight there.
But he's a 6th rounder this one, so conserving energy is going to be the order of the day in the early rounds, perhaps.
So maybe the Thai is conserving energy, but that brings an end to round 2. All set up for the 3rd round here of a 6-round light heavyweight contest. And for me, you can pencil in Waleed Haddara for the first 2 rounds, Scott Brower.
I agree, 100%. He's got the first 2 in the bank. He's just got to win 1 more, and he's at least got half the rounds in his pocket then, and then he's halfway, well, literally halfway to winning the fight.
It's also great to see Khalid Baker in the corner of Waleed Haddara, one of the best cruiserweights in Victoria. And maybe some big fights on the horizon in 2023.
Yeah, some things being whispered apparently at the moment with Baker and one of the other big hitters in the division. So stay tuned, folks. Perhaps something coming. Nice 1-2, Haddara.
Great start to this 3rd round from Haddara. Fundamentals, that 1-2 down the pipe. Very impressed with the ties so far in this fight night of big time boxing. The first tie did very well, and now we've got Ketsiri, who's showing his class. He's very durable, and you know they've come in with some great conditioning from the camp down there in Bangkok.
Yeah, he's looking very relaxed. And just a quick shout out to the against all odds fighter Sam Abdul-Rahim as well. I'm sure you'll be watching tonight. And, speaking of big hitters, so we look forward to seeing him back in action as well.
Did Wally hurt his shoulder, do you think?
He's changed stance momentarily. Yeah, maybe.
His left shoulder, just keep an eye out what he does.
The tie comes forward.
He's able to throw that left hand.
Forward. He's a bit of a showman, this tie too, but not doing a lot.
Always got a smile.
Oh, nice counter right hand. Haddara makes him pay for his flair.
What a vaporising counterpunch that was from Waleed Haddara on the ropes. Biding his time throughout this contest, Waleed Haddara. Very impressed with his patience throughout this fight.
Yeah, and I think they've changed the strategy there a little bit, Scotty. They probably told Wally, Dave Hegarty's probably said, just sit back and let him come to you rather than chase him.
Because he is waiting a little bit more, and again, that's a great learning for Wally, and a huge improvement.
Yeah, nice rip to the body and then hook upstairs. It's looking for something. There's no uppercut opening there. The Thai closing that guard. I thought when we're in that position, it's plumb for an uppercut. But the Thai's well aware of it and closing the forearms up, shutting the gate to the uppercut.
We know Waleed Haddara sort of fluctuates between cruiserweight and light heavyweight, but I like him at this light heavyweight limit. Great stuff there on the ropes.
Just flicked him down. That punch did land, and then Wally just flicked him down.
It was a nice uppercut on the ropes, but then a little bit of a push there, and it wasn't ruled a knockdown. But Waleed Haddara, a nice uppercut there, is really throwing the uppercut quite often in this 3rd round.
The Thai coming forward again. He's going to eat a right hand because that lead hand of Ketsiri's down. He's coming forward with the lead hand down. He's almost going to give Wally that right hook. If Wally sees it and times
there it is. There it is.
Like that. There it goes, just as I called it.
Beautifully done, Mark. It's
just willed on that right hand. moments before I said it. And like I got Wally on the remote control, he's just gone, I feel like I'm playing a video game. And he's just nailed him. Well, there you go, folks.
Oh, it was great timing from Waleed Haddara, but some great timing from Mark the Hammer Castanini in the commentary booth.
We go. Sometimes you get lucky, Scotty.
What
a shot.
That was the voice of experience from you, Hammer.
Well done, Waleed Haddara. That's how you finish a fight, folks. Haddara style. Beautifully done.
And it's lights out for Ketsiri. He gets up on his haunches and hopefully he's okay. The doctors are with him, but it's all about the fighting Haddara. Waleed Haddara moves to 10 wins in his professional career, and he adds another KO with 7 KOs on his professional record. But a nice atmosphere here at Big Time Boxing, and they're definitely heated up for that matchup with a KO for Waleed Haddara. So plenty of fish there for him in the light heavyweight and cruiserweight scene. But as I was talking before, I reckon he's much better at that light heavyweight division. What are your thoughts there, Scott Brower?
I agree with you. He's certainly got the power, and he's better conditioned when he's a little bit lighter. And I think tonight what we saw was some patience from Haddara, and that's not something we've seen in the past. From Haddara is that level of patience.
Yeah,
Great to see.
He was a bit G'd up in the first, but just settled nicely. And that final punch was really the punctuation of I suppose, maturity, where he just didn't chase anymore, just sat there and just picked it. His timing was executed beautifully. When the shot was there, he took it, and that's how you end the fight. Beautifully done, Waleed Haddara.
So that brings an end to the third matchup on Big Time Boxing, and we go to John Demicoli for the final particulars of this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes and 38 seconds into round number 3. This fight ended, declaring your winner by knockout, Waleed fighting Haddara. Coming to the Tanawat Ketsiri, making their way down from Bangkok. Waleed Haddara continues his unbeaten streak, moves to 10-0 here in the boxing ranks. What a team would have the pretty boy Khalid Quaker considering amongst a host of others in the Haddara camp. Big Time Boxing. If I can find another intruder. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to bout number 4 on the card, earlier in the month we had some very, very tragic news. A friend of not only big time boxing, but the wife of a very important part of big time boxing left us way too early. Brian Armatrude in the ring to have a chat. Brian, it was very sad times, mate.
Yeah, if I get everyone's attention for a minute. Just a few weeks ago, a very dear friend of ours passed away. Everyone would know in this room, Barry Michael. Barry Michael is a living legend, but behind every great man, there's a great woman, and that great woman was Sue. We did over 10 years together as partners, and everyone would see Sue at this front desk here. She ran the desk. Very good part of our family, big time boxing. I've known Sue since she was 15 years old. The most beautiful, loving woman you've ever met in your life. And we're going to do a 10 gong salute as we do with boxing for Barry Michael, who's one of our national treasures. It's I feel for Barry. He's him and Sue were like chalk and cheese. She always pulled him in the line. You couldn't get a better family. And I remember so many times she'd grab hold of Barry and say, "Come on, Barry, time to go." And of course, you know, it's a partnership that's no longer here, but she's at peace, no more pain, and we're here to celebrate Sue's life. There's no mourning, celebrating what a wonderful, wonderful woman. And there's an old saying is, in this life, how would you like to be remembered? And the fact is that she's remembered as a wonderful person, and she lived a full life way too soon. She should have grown old with Barry, but it didn't happen. So I just wanted to 10 gong salute, and everyone stand up, please. Thank you.
Everyone standing in the venue, please. As you remember such a beautiful lady in Sue, we're going to commence the 10-bell salute. Thank you, Tom. On behalf of the big time boxing family and all the boxing fans around Australia, we wish Sue a rest in peace, and we're thinking of you, Sue, and thinking of you, Barry Michael. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, big time boxing continues. Bout number 4 on the card. Fighting out of the red corner, Ruben Kennedy.
How do you guys get fucking 16 places?
I don't know why I act the way I do.
I hope you're all back.
I ain't got a single thing to lose. Sometimes I'm my own worst enemy.
And here we got Ruben Kennedy making his way to the red corner, the veteran at 40 years of age, training under the guidance of the very experienced Terry Lewis out of Hurstville, New South Wales, looking to make it 7 wins in his professional career tonight in the super welterweight division.
This road I'm heading down my way.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, Kyle Wright.
Way to Melbourne Pavillion centre ring, and he's been in with the likes of Victor Nagby, but this 27-year-old training under the guidance of Dave Hegarty, he's a major player in the super welterweight welterweight division in Victoria, and he's looking to continue his winning trend with a victory over his opponent here in Kennedy.
Ladies and gentlemen, your following contest is bout number 4 of the evening. We are live at Big Time Boxing right here at the Melbourne Pavillion. 5 by 3 minute rounds in the super welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, trained by Terry Lewis, out of the world famous Redfern Boxing Gym, home of Anthony Mundine, with an official weight of 69 kilograms even, wearing black trunks with white piping. He's had 15 fights for 6 wins, fighting out of Parramatta, New South Wales. He's the former WBF Australasian champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Ruben Kennedy. And across the ring is this man's opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, trained by Dave Hegarty, out of the Target Boxing Gym, with an official weight of 68.90 kilograms. Wearing white trunks with black and gold. A record of 5 fights, 3 wins, 1 draw. 1 win coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Melbourne's West in Wyndham Vale. Ladies and gentlemen, Giles Wright. With the action begins, your man in charge in centre ring, Malcolm Bullner.
So we're just about set for this 5-round super welterweight clash between Joel Wright from New South Wales against the experienced campaigner Ruben Kennedy at 40 years of age. Hasn't fought for some time. It's been 7 to 8 years since he's been in centre ring, and he's got a big job on his hands against Joel Wright. Mr. Malcolm Bullner doing a fine job, and he's your 3rd man in the ring, and we are underway in this first round. Joel Wright working behind the jab.
Kennedy in the black shorts with the white trim. Right, he's at the white shorts with the black trim. Gold writing. Good prospect. And geez, he'd have a little bit of ring rust if he hasn't been in the ring for that long. Kennedy. A lot of experience though. But geez, he's got a big task ahead of him, Scotty Brow.
Very big task ahead of him. He's going to have to try and use every bit of that experience that he's got to keep Joel Wright off him.
Yeah, the last time we saw him was in 2015, but we know Joel Wright, his last fight was in March against Dong Yong Kang from South Korea, and he won that night via opening round stoppage. Can he continue the trend here tonight at Big Time Boxing with an early stoppage over the experience in Kennedy? Very
exciting prospect, Joel Wright. I like what we've seen of him thus far, obviously trained by Hegarty, and good team they are. And he's just picking his shots, moving well. Oh, the left hook got over the guard, over the right hand rather of Wright.
It was quite a wild left hook. He probably didn't expect it because it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, Kennedy's not here to making up numbers either. He's actually pushing forward and backing up Wright, which is interesting.
Yeah, he's he looks strong, Kennedy. So he's trying to use that strength. Walks into an uppercut as he does, though.
He wants to keep his guard up. I see his guard dropping after his engagement. So his hands are up. He throws and then he drops them. That's going to be dangerous if Wright reads that momentum.
He also his hands are quite wide as he walks in as well. So he's quite a loose defence.
He's tough though.
The first couple of rounds are going to be very important for Kennedy because he does possess power in his punch. So the first 2 rounds...
Right hand. Again, as I said, when he comes off his engagements, he drops his hands, and that's exactly what he did. As they mixed it up, he stood back, dropped his hands, and Wright read it beautifully and just rolled that right hand on the jawline again.
He crunched him with a right hand, and now Kennedy is up. Will he survive at the end of this round number 1? Because Joel Wright's a man on a mission. He's going to come forward and look to close the show in this first round.
Again, Wright opening up now. Accuracy, pinpoint style. Down to the body, up to the head. He's in a bit of bother, is Kennedy.
Oh, landed back himself.
Kennedy's one tough unit, and he's on the ropes backpedaling, but he's throwing some punches in there, and the referee's not going to stop that. He's back on the job at Joel Wright. That right hand is lethal.
Just wearing some solid shots, Kennedy. But how tough is he? Digs to the body, right.
Comes back himself, Kennedy. It's a exciting round, but it's a 10-8 round to Wright with the knockdown there.
Tell you what, hell of a first round. And certainly both fighters testing each other out. But Wright just landing with accuracy and really good. He's very patient. I'm appreciative of his patience and just taking his time and then transitioning the power. When he sees the openings. Great stuff from Joel Wright.
He's a very smart fighter, Joel Wright. Doesn't take too many risks. And if you remember back in 2019, we were talking about it, Scott Brown before, he knocked out Victor Nagby in their fight back in 2019.
That's right. So we know he's got a big punch, and you know, and it's his right hand, which happens to be his name.
That's it. Great commentary there from Scott Brower. He's on the job here tonight at Melbourne Pavillion. What a great night it's been so far. Will Joel Wright continue the trend here in round 2? But the doctors are looking at Mr. Kennedy.
Round 2.
To the second round we go. And we see Joel Wright just posting up with that lead hand, looking for something. But Kennedy feels he could get that left hook in if he gets the opportunity.
Great stuff by both fighters in centering. Joel Wright thinking behind his work. He's got a high boxing IQ. And Kennedy in centering. He's got that power that he possesses. The first 2 rounds will be important.